initiative itself, which is it came by Kuwait Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It has been always in the strategy of Kuwait and their foreign policy with the neighbors internationally and regionally to always, initiate the good things and good deeds. Kuwait is known throughout its history for being one of the most friendly nations on the world, always, doing the good things for the world. We can see it from Kuwait Fund. We can see that from other Kuwaitis who contribute to many causes, okay, whether for countries in the area or in Africa, in Asia. So I think it's in the line of the Kuwaiti foreign policy, which is really, one of the most wise policies in the area. Well, look, Iraq is merging towards security and stability. And with the involvement of the Kuwaiti Fund, the World Bank, IMF, and other guarantors, I think there is a fertile ground for investment in Iraq.
Well, firstly, we're delighted to be here. I represent the Iraqi investors outside Iraq, which is a huge community, over 5 million Iraqis abroad with $260 billion worth of net worth of investments. We came to Kuwait with a clear vision and image to look the possibilities of investing in Iraq. We listened to so many good news, among the bad news as well. As you know, all investors would be looking for security, guarantee for capital, anti-corruption laws, the one-stop shop, the visa issues, so many concerns. But the major principles of the conference itself, to be held in Kuwait, which has a significance by itself, being close proximity to Iraq and 2 hours drive. Kuwait going to be the hub, I believe, for all international companies who are interested to rebuild Iraq. The financing, the welcome which we've seen from the Kuwaiti people, it's a fantastic opportunity for all investors to consider Iraq through Kuwait as a hub. The projects are mega projects. There is a medium-sized and small project. The main principle is the message of the conference, that this is the time, this is the start. The government are ready and willing to help and assist with the help of the international community and the Arab world, starting with Kuwait.
It has been a very interesting opportunity to come and to see how we have organized efforts by the Kuwait government and the government of Iraq to showcase to us all how the climate in Iraq has changed and how it is now trying to attract people's attention to this new moment and what the opportunities are for investing and doing business with Iraq once again.
The second day of Kuwait International Conference for the Reconstruction of Iraq represents its true economic poles, stressing at the same time the role of the private sector in this regard, with potential of development projects in Iraq booming. From Crown Plaza Hotel, this is Salim Kandiri reporting for the English News.
More than $330 million was pledged at the non-governmental organization conference to support the humanitarian situation in Iraq, to be concluded later today.
The conference coincides with Kuwait's hosting of the International Conference for the Reconstruction of Iraq. More details with Salim Al-Kandri.
A total of $330 million and $130 is the total amount of pledges announced at non-governmental organizations and NGOs conference to support the humanitarian situation in Iraq. Various other organizations continue to provide various programs and efforts to Iraq, among them International Committee of the Red Cross operating in Iraq, who is working with amount of $130 million in programs and operations so far. Here is what ICRC head of delegation in Iraq said about the situation.
Kuwait has this role as being the humanitarian promoter in particular in the region. So hosting this reconstruction conference is a good sign for the support Kuwait gives to the countries which have now gone through terrible times of war and lots of destruction. And I think it gives a sign of hope to have this conference today and also being promoted for the reconstruction of Iraq, which is obviously very much needed. The conference has different aspects, and I think the non-government day, this conference where we are now, it is very important because generally we talk about reconstruction. Reconstruction is not just infrastructure, and we often link it. Reconstruction is building community, and I think it is reconstructing the life of many communities who have been now torn apart, they have been divided, and I think we also need to help to reunite them. So in order that they can use actually the infrastructure, we're gonna rebuild hopefully in the coming years and help Iraqis to return home and go back to community life. We have a very long-term approach. We have been in Iraq since 1980. Since more than 30 years we have been in Iraq. Now the focus today is phasing out from the emergency relief activities like assistance of food and water and moving to recovery and sustainable livelihood activities, meaning that we help the displaced going back home and trying to get back to maybe some job opportunities, to have some economic opportunities so they can actually starting rebuilding their life. Parallel, we also assist health centers, we rehabilitate water treatment plants, we also have 12 centers, disabled centers we support from the Ministry of Health to do prosthesis and orthosis for the disabled. But important is also we have what we call the protection of the civilians, meaning we visit detention places. So we are looking at the condition and we have a bilateral dialogue with the authorities to see that where we can support them also in detention places, or the missing persons file where we help the authorities to deal with the many, many persons who are missed today and the families who are searching for them.
The conference kicked off earlier today to tackle latest developments in the humanitarian situation. It coincides with Kuwait's hosting of the International Conference for the Reconstruction of Iraq. The conference is being held under the patronage of His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Sabah Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Sabah. From the Crown Plaza Hotel, this is Salim Kendiri reporting for the English News.